already covered the entire New Testament, starting in the book of Matthew, and now we're starting in the New Testament, in the Old Testament, and we started in the book of Genesis, and we completed the book of Genesis on last week. So now we're starting in the book of Exodus. So we're reading Exodus chapters 1 through 5 for this week. And we always do a test at the beginning of our Bible study, and then we will discuss those 5 chapters during the process of the test. All right. I think that they have the test ready for us to put on the screen so that our viewers can watch it. Brother Murphy? One more test. All right. All right, we'll give Brother Murphy just a few seconds to get another pencil and a test. All right. Number 1. The more the affliction was placed upon the children of Israel, the more they grew. The more the affliction was placed upon the children of Israel, the more they grew. Number 2, when a male child was born, the midwife killed him, but the female child was allowed to live. When a male child was born, the midwife killed him, but the female child was allowed to live. Number 3, Moses killed an Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Moses killed an Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Number 4, Zipporah became the wife of Moses. Zipporah became the wife of Moses. Number 5, the angel of the Lord appeared unto Moses in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. The angel of the Lord appeared unto Moses in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. Number 6, when Moses asked God, "What is your name?" God said to him, "I am Jehovah God." When Moses asked God, "What is your name?" God said to him, "I am Jehovah God." Number 7, God promised to harden the heart of Pharaoh so that he would not let the people go. God promised to harden the heart of Pharaoh so that he would not let the people go. Number 8, when Moses and Aaron told the people that the words that the Lord has spoken and showed them the signs, they did not believe. Moses and Aaron told the people the words that the Lord has spoken and showed them the signs. They did not believe. Number 9, Pharaoh commanded that the children of Israel be given no more straw to build bricks, but to make them without straw. Now, I want you all to listen to that one very, very carefully. Yeah, listen to that I'm going to read it again. Pharaoh commanded that the children of Israel be given no more straw to make bricks, but to make them without straw. Number 10, more work was placed upon the people after Moses asked Pharaoh to let the people go. More work was placed upon the people after Moses asked Pharaoh to let the people go. All right, trade papers with someone. And let's see how many 100s we have tonight. Did you read the wrong chapters? You didn't? Okay, all right. When I saw it said Exodus, you looked kind of funny, like say, because I know you weren't here last week, so I thought you might have read the wrong chapters. All right. Number one, the more the affliction was placed upon the children of Israel, the more they grew. True or false? That is true. That lets us know that afflictions can produce growth. See, the thing that the devil meant for evil, God turned it around and caused it to go for good. And see, they were trying to decrease the population of the Egyptians. But God had already told Jacob that when he went into Egypt, he would become a nation. They went in as a family, and they came out as a nation. We talked about it last week, that when they went in, it was only 70 people in Jacob's family that went into Egypt. But when they came back out of Egypt, somebody said it was around 3 million. I don't think the Bible gives the exact number, but it was a large nation of people. As a matter of fact, it said that the people in Egypt were worried because the people of Israel was beginning to outnumber the people in Egypt. And that's why they began to put the afflictions on them, because they were multiplying so fast. Okay, so that answer is true. Number two, when a male child was born, the midwife killed him, but the female child was allowed to live. True or false? False. Okay, so what happened? False is the answer.
They did not do it because God didn't want them to do that. They were holy people, and they did not do it. They went against Pharaoh.
Okay, we need to get some mics out. Okay, we need to get at least, if we got a couple of mics we can put on each side. Brother Jenkins just gave the answer that the midwives were told to kill the boy children and let the female children live. But the midwives were Hebrew midwives, and they feared God. And so since they feared God more than they feared Pharaoh, they let the child live. Okay, give Alex a... Okay, and y'all make sure y'all turn them up loud and hold it close to your mouth so people on Facebook can hear you.
The women chose not to kill the children, but the question say, were they allowed? They were allowed, they just chose not to.
They were told to.
So it say right here, were they allowed to?
Okay, it says when the midwives was born, when the child was born, the midwife killed them, but the female child was allowed to live. Well, the female child was allowed to live, but the males were supposed to be killed. They were not allowed, but they let them live anyway because they feared God. What they did was Pharaoh found out that they were not killing the male child, so Pharaoh says, why are you not doing what I told you to do? And they made up a lie. They said that the females, the Hebrew females were lively. And when we get there, the baby already born. So when they said that, then the Bible, they did it because they feared God. But the Bible says that God blessed them and built them a house. Now, a long time ago when I read that, I was saying, how God gonna bless a lie? Because they lied to Pharaoh. But it wasn't the lie that caused God to bless them. What God caused to bless them is because they didn't kill the Hebrew babies. So God, because they refused to kill the Hebrew babies, God blessed them. Okay? So the answer to that is false. Number three, Moses killed an Egyptian and hid him in the sand. True or false? True. That is true. Why did Moses kill the Egyptian? Somebody with him. Okay, if you got a mic, if you got a mic, raise your. Okay. All right, y'all act like y'all debating on who's gonna answer the question. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
Because he was fighting a Hebrew guy?
Cause what?
The Egyptian was fighting a Hebrew guy?
Because the Egyptian was fighting a Hebrew. Yes, because see, Moses knew his background, and when he came out there and he saw the Hebrew and the Egyptian fighting, he took sides with the Hebrew and he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. So what happened after that? What happened the next day? Anybody know what happened the next day? Sister Bridget. Okay, wait on the mic. Okay, what is it? And hold the mic up close. There you go.
Two Hebrews were fighting, and he came to break up the fight and tell them that they didn't need to fight each other. And the one Hebrew guy told him, nobody made you God. What about when you killed the guy yesterday? Are you going to kill me too?
Right. They would say the one that was in the wrong, he was the one that told him, say, well, you going to kill me like you did the Hebrew? And then he found out it was known. And then Pharaoh found out about it, and he sought to kill Moses. Okay, so Moses did kill the Egyptian, and hid him in the sand. That is number 3 is true. Number 4, Zipporah became the wife of Moses. Is that true or false? True. All right. Now, can somebody tell me something about Zipporah? Okay, somebody with a mic. Somebody get a mic. Okay, I think we might need a mic person just to be. Okay, Sister Scott.
She was the daughter of Jethro, and she was the eldest daughter. She had 6 more sisters.
Okay, that's true. Now, I'm going to ask y'all something about her that was not in the lesson. Okay, Sister Jackie, can you tell me something else?
Okay.
You got a mic?
I have a mic. What I liked about that.
Put the mic up to your face.
I'm sorry. What I liked, her father was a priest.
Right.
So she was a daughter of a priest. And Aaron also came out the priesthood of Leviticus. So I like the way those two priests got together.
What Aaron of being a priest got to do with? I'm trying to see how you connected those dots.
You asked me about Zipporah.
Yeah.
She was a daughter of a priest.
Okay, she was a daughter of a priest. Okay. Anybody else got it? Can you tell me something else about her?
Moses met her when she was at the well. They was there to draw water, but the men came and stopped them from drawing water so they could draw water first. Moses came out and stopped the men and let them draw the water, and they went back home, and the father asked them, why was they there came back so quick? And she told the father what Moses had done.
All right, so Moses would rescue them and help them out because it was he had 7 daughters. And so the shepherds that came, they ran them away from the water fountain. But the thing I was looking for is, like I said, was not in the lesson. Do you all remember, it said he was the priest of Midian. Do you all remember what happened when Moses, was Aaron, and what's the sister named Miriam? Miriam got leprosy put on her, and Moses and Aaron was rebuked. Why were they rebuked?
They was talking against Zipporah.
And
They
what
was
was it?
talking about
What
her.
was they saying against Zipporah?
I don't remember.
Okay, she was an Ethiopian. She was a black woman, and so Moses' wife was a black woman, and because Moses married the Ethiopian, his brother Aaron and his sister Miriam were talking about it. When they were talking about it, they didn't know that God heard it. And when God heard it, God told them, say, both of y'all come here. I want to have a conversation with y'all. And then he told them how important Moses was. And he put leprosy upon Miriam. And he didn't put it on Aaron because Aaron was the high priest. But then later, Aaron was connected to Moses. When Moses messed up, Aaron suffered the consequences too. But the thing that protected Aaron was his relationship with Moses as a high priest. But because she was an Ethiopian woman, they were upset with him for marrying an Ethiopian woman. Now, I'm not saying that Moses could have been black too, but she was an Ethiopian, which was a different nationality from what the Hebrews were. And so that's why they were upset. I don't know about the color of her skin, but most Ethiopians are black people. Okay, all right. And also, she was the one that, it's a scripture in there that I had a hard time kind of understanding. I had to do some research on it. Did you all do it where it says about when they came to the end? Anybody remember that part? When they came to the end, it says that God sought to kill Moses.
I was going to
Anybody
ask you
understand?
about that.
Did you understand that?
I think I did. When Moses' son wasn't circumcised, and for whatever reason, and so that angered God, and he was going to kill Moses. And she jumped in front of him and went ahead and circumcised her son and threw the foreskin on Moses' feet.
And called him a bloody husband.
And called him,
Now, I didn't understand that. I mean, I knew that he should have, because there was their covenant, the circumcision was a sign of the covenant, but I didn't understand how they threw that little part, those little 4 verses in there, where it says that God sought to kill him. And so I had to look up some different translations and find out what that was talking about. Okay. All right. Number 5. The angel of the Lord appeared unto Moses in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. True or false? True. That is true. Moses saw this bush burning, but it wasn't burning up. So he said, let me see what's going on. Why this bush just keep burning and does not burn up. So that was God's way of getting Moses' attention. Number 6. When Moses asked God, what is your name? God said to him, I am Jehovah God. True or false? False. What did he say? I am that I am, and you tell them that I am sent you. What kind of name is that? I am. That's God's name, right? And I want you to know that God has more than one name. But this is the name that God told him to say, tell them that I am sent you. Not I was, not I will be, but I am. That's present tense. So he said, tell them that I am sent you. Okay, number 7. God promised to harden the heart of Pharaoh so that he would not let the people go. True or false? True. That is true. Can somebody explain that to me? Oh, wait a minute. Why did God... Now, if God really wanted the people to go, why did he harden Pharaoh's heart so that he would not let them go? Okay, give Sherry.
I think it's because he wanted them to believe who he was as the Lord.
He wanted them to believe that he was who he was as the Lord. Okay, and where did you get that from? That thought was just something?
I saw the word believe in there when I was reading.
Okay. Okay. Now, I want y'all to, that was something that's exactly right. But I just want y'all, when I was reading through the Bible, a long time ago when I first got saved, when I got to the book of Romans, chapter number 11, there was so much in there that I did not understand that I just kind of read past it. But I want y'all to look at, let's see, I have it marked here. And it can be confusing, really. Romans chapter 9, that's what it is. I got confused. And all the way through, when I was reading the New Testament, all the way through, I had a paper Bible. All the way through, I would make marks in each chapter, some things that I wanted to highlight and come back and look at. But in Romans chapter 9, I didn't have nothing highlighted. When I went back and looked, nothing was highlighted. And that's because it was kind of confusing to me. But look at Romans chapter 9. All right. And starting at verse number 18. Let's see. I'm going to back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit further. All right. Verse number 15. Verse number 15. It says, for he says to Moses. That's why I said the Old Testament is the foundation for the New Testament, because you'll find things in the New Testament that refer back to the Old Testament. It says, for he says to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Now, I looked this up. This is in the Amplified Bible. It says, so then God's gift is not a question of human will and human effort, but of God's mercy. It depends not on one's own willingness, nor his strenuous exertion as in running a race, but on God's having mercy on him. Listen to this. So the scripture says to Pharaoh, I have raised you up for this very purpose, to display my power in dealing with you, so that my name may be proclaimed to the whole world. So God told Moses, I'm going to use you. And when you read down further, you'll find out that there are some vessels that God have chosen as vessels of honor, and then there are some vessels that God have chosen vessels as sacrifice, so that he can show his power. Whenever God chose a vessel for honor, God showed his goodness. He showed his mercy. So other folk can see how good God is, because he used you as an example to show how good he is. But there are some people that God used to show how, what's the right word? How powerful he is. And that's what happened with Pharaoh. He hardened Pharaoh's heart so that the people of Israel could see the mighty hand of God working through Pharaoh. And that would help them to have faith and believe. So aren't you glad that God chose you as a vessel of honor and not a vessel of wrath? They call it one vessel of wrath. And it didn't have nothing to do with the person, but it was God that made the decision. And God said, I show mercy on whom I will, and who I want to, I'll harden their heart. I'm glad God didn't harden my heart. I'm glad that God chose me as a vessel of honor and chose you as a vessel of honor, so people can see what God is doing in your life and glorify God. See how good God. That amazed me when I looked back and saw that. And also, it's all over in the book of 2 Timothy. It talks about the same thing. But I found out when you're reading in the book of Romans, you'll find out that most of the time when God hardens somebody's heart, it's because they already have evil in their heart. God not going to take a good person and use them as a bad example. That's not the way God works. And so Paul in Romans chapter 9, 10, 11, he was letting them know to purge yourself of the impurities in your life so that God can use you as a vessel of honor. All right, I just thought that was good. I just threw it in. All right. But God hardened Pharaoh's heart, because at some point Pharaoh will say, okay, you can go. He had enough. But then God would change his mind before he let him go, and then God had to put another God would put another, what's the right word? Affliction on them to show his goodness and mercy. Okay. Number 8. When Moses and Aaron told the people the words that the Lord had spoken to them and showed them the signs, they did not believe. True or false? Okay, I hear a few saying, and the ones I hear saying false is right. It's false. Because God told Moses, he said, when you show them these 2 signs, they will believe. But Moses started making excuses. And Moses came up with so many excuses, the Bible said God got angry with him. What was the first excuse Moses came up with? I know y'all read. Because he couldn't talk right. Okay, he said, I'm not an eloquent man, and I don't speak real well. And then God told him, say, who made your mouth? who made the deaf dumb and who made the lame to walk and all that. He said, I'm the one that made you. But Moses was still coming up with excuses. And then God told him, say, well, all right, I'll give you your brother Aaron. I know he can talk. So I'll let Aaron be your mouth. You tell Aaron, and then Aaron tell Pharaoh. You tell Aaron, and Aaron tell the people. He said, Aaron will be a messenger for you, and you will be like a God to him. So seem like God could have just chose Aaron for the whole thing, but he didn't. He chose Moses, and he didn't change his mind. God knew who he wanted to use. Okay, and then Moses just kept coming up with excuses. The Bible says God got angry with him, but he still didn't let Moses out. He just kept giving him something where Moses finally agreed to do it. Okay, number 9. Ma'am? Number 8, the answer is false. Okay, number 9. Pharaoh commanded that the children of Israel be given no more straw to make bricks, but to make them without straw. Now, I read that one twice, so when y'all get it wrong, if y'all get it wrong, don't blame me, okay? So is that true or false? Okay. There you go.
They were supposed to go get their own straw and gather it up to make the bricks with, but still put straw in the bricks.
That's right. See, I remember doing this test before, and that's why I read it twice, because they couldn't make the bricks without the straw. He told them, now we're not going to bring you any straw. You got to go and get your own straw and still keep your quota. So that's why I read it twice, to make sure, because I know that somebody was going to say, no, they were supposed to go they couldn't make them without a straw. But he told them, since y'all got so much time, since you want to go out and worship, that means you got time on your hand. So what you need to do is go and get your own straw and make bricks, and don't let the number fall. Keep doing the same thing. So the answer to that is false.
Again, I caught it then.
After the second time?
The second time I caught it.
Okay, all right. Because I want y'all to make 100. I ain't trying to make nobody get look. I want everybody. I would like one night everybody get a 100. That made me think I did a good job. All right, number 10. More work was placed upon the people after Moses asked Pharaoh to let the people go. True or false? That is true. Moses said, y'all got so much, Pharaoh said, y'all got so much time. Y'all want to go out there and witness for 3 days. What you got? You still trying to get me to change that one on number 2? All right. Who got them all right? Y'all trade back? All right. All right. Let me find my paper here. Yes. Okay. Let me get my paper first. Okay. All right. Brother Murphy, I got him. That girl, Brother Murphy, 4.
Hello.
Excuse me, y'all.
Hello.
I'm up here by myself, so I can.
Hey, what was the answer to number 7 and number 9?
The answer to number 7
and number 9.
Okay. 7 is true and 9 is false. Okay, who else got them all right? I got Brother Murphy. All right, Sister Owens got them all right. Let me find my paper again. Brother Owens, she broke the tie, didn't she? Between y'all. Okay. Well. All right. Sister Owens got 2. Okay. Okay, Sister Scotty. Sister Wanda Scott got 10. Sister Janie. That gives Sister Janie 2. Sister Jackie?
Sir, what was the answer to number 5?
Number 5, the answer is true.
Okay.
So you got them all right? All right. Sister Jackie Shaw got a 6. Okay. Did you point at the young lady right there that got them all? Did you get them all right? Okay. All right. Anybody? Sister Van. I know you usually raise your hand for Sister Van, but you raise your hand for Regina tonight. All right, let's see. Is this your first time on the paper? No, sir, it is not. Okay. Let me see. No, it is not. Sister Regina got 4. All right. It's a good thing we got pencil and paper. We got 3 on Facebook. All right, that gives her 2. Sister Lakeisha. Let's see. Sister Lakeisha got 9. And Sister Nakisha Jenkins. Okay, see if I can find her name on here. That's good. I mean, that is good. Sister Nakisha got 3. All right. That is great. That is great. Yes, sir. Who you pointing at, Regina? Okay. All right. How many only got 1 wrong? All right, Brother Robert, the way you were answering all those questions, which one you got wrong?
Number 8 tricked me up.
Number 8. Let's see what number 8 says. Moses and Aaron told the people the words that the Lord has spoken and showed them a sign. Okay, and they did believe. The people did believe, and they went with Pharaoh, went to talk to Pharaoh. All right, anybody else got only 1 wrong? All right, Brother Terrell, which one you got wrong? Number 2. All right. Yeah, it was easy to get that one wrong, but the answer is false because they did not kill they were told to kill the boy babies, but they didn't. All right? Well, how many only got 2 wrong? All right. Okay. All right. That is so good. How many only got 3 wrong? That's as far as I go is 3. Okay, Maud only got 3. Okay, you all did quite well. I am quite pleased. All right. Do anybody have anything in this lesson that stood out that you would like to share with the rest of us? Okay. What I wrote down, one of the things I noticed down was in chapter 3, verses 9 through 11, when God gave Moses the assignment, and Moses said, "Who am I to go and talk to Pharaoh?" And so usually, whenever God tells us to do something, the first thing we do is we think about our own inabilities, where we've fallen short. Now, and then you can look back and see what God did after you obey God and see God do a work in you. Because 30 years ago, if the Lord had told me to come over here to the Evergreen and he's going to build a sanctuary for 500 people, I would have said, "Who, me?" I just don't see how. I say I don't have it. I say I hadn't even been to school. I hadn't been to seminary, and I have not. As a matter of fact, I only been ordained for 2 years because I got ordained in 1993 and licensed in 1993, and then I came over here and started pastoring in 1995. So I never thought that God would be able to do what he did. But the thing is, it's not you. When you learn it's not you, but God working through you, you can get a lot done. And that's why one of the things that we continuously say in our confession, that the power of God is at work in me. See, it's not me at work in me, but it's the power of God at work in me. And then we say, I can do all things, how? Through Christ who strengthens me. So it's Christ that strengthens me. It's Christ that enables me. So that's why we say I can do it through Christ. I can do nothing on my own. But if you allow God to use you, God can do great and mighty things. He'll surprise you at how much you can get done if you let God do it through you. But when you depend upon, like Moses kept making excuse after excuse, trying to get God to get somebody else. But God knew what he was doing. And Moses became one of the most powerful men in the Bible. God, the only person that God used to do more and greater things than Moses was Jesus. And then another prophet that God used in a great and mighty way was Elijah. Y'all remember, when we get over, we'll see about Elijah, how Elijah did many great works like that. But you don't hardly find anybody else in the Bible that performed the kind of work that Moses did other than Jesus, okay?
He groomed Moses from birth to do what he did, because he knew what he wanted him to do.
Yeah, God had his hands on Moses. That's why he was able to be found in the bush.
Nile River.
In that river by Pharaoh's daughter. And see, the thing is, when God is for you, it doesn't matter who's against you. Because see, when Moses' mama found out that she couldn't hide him any longer, she made this little ark and put him in it and put him on the river. And his sister followed the ark to see what would happen. And it just happened that it was Pharaoh's daughter that saw it. And that little girl, Miriam, she was so smart, she went and said, do you want me to find one of the Hebrew women? And so what happened was they ended up paying Moses' mama to help raise him. Yeah. God is amazing. God is amazing. The one that they were trying to kill, God turned around and used him to deliver the children of Israel. But God caused Pharaoh's daughter to pay Moses' mom to feed him and raise him up until he got to an age where he was weaned and everything. All right? Anybody got anything else that really stuck out? Sister Sherry,
Okay, and number 5.
put it up to your mouth so we can hear you.
Okay, the angel of the Lord on number 5.
Put it up to your mouth so we can.
Number 5, the angel of the Lord appeared unto Moses in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And it was saying that the bush didn't burn up. And I was thinking, I said, that's a great reminder of what the hellfire is going to be like.
Oh, Lord.
You know, the second death.
Yeah, people think just because something on fire is going to burn up. Well, God can create a fire. Because I've heard people like the Jehovah's Witnesses, they would say that if there was such a thing as hellfire, then you will burn up. But God can make a fire that don't burn out, don't burn up. Because the Bible talks about in hell, it says, where the worm dieth not. So it can be heat there, and God, and you know what? Just like God provide a body for those of us that are saved to live in heaven forever, the people that die and go to hell, God provide them a body where they can be suffering and torment forever. So either way, you're going to continue to exist. So you can exist either in heaven with God, or you can either exist in hell with the devil, depending on who you choose to serve while you're here on earth. And so that is true. God can build a fire to burn and don't stop burning. That's very true. That's a good analogy. All right? Anybody pick up anything else? All right. You pointed, yes, ma'am. If you got a mic, put it up to you.
I do. Chapter 5, verses 22. After this all happened and they put the children under more bondage, Moses came back and he talked to God. And I was looking at how Moses talked to God. He said, Lord, why hast thou so evil treated this people? Why is it that you have sent me? And from that point on, all through Exodus, Moses and God have those type of conversations where Moses just straight up talked to God, why you did this here? People will talk about you if you kill all these some people. So I was just looking at how him and God relationship is, that him and God talk straight up.
Yeah, And I can imagine how Moses got concerned, because Moses said, you told me you're going to deliver these people. And instead of delivering people, you made their burdens even heavier. And so, in other words, Moses was kind of saying, Lord, what's going on here? But when I made a note of that, I wrote down that lots of times things get worse before they get better. Just because God promised you victory don't mean you're not going to have some defeats in the midst of it before you get your victory. There's going to be some times when it looked like you're losing, but you still be winning because God got the last word. And when Jesus hung on the cross, for that time that he hung, I can imagine the devil thought that he had the victory until the third day. Then on the third day, well, actually the devil knew before the third day, because when Jesus died, the Bible says he went into hell and took dominion over the devil and his demonic spirits and everything. And he rose from the dead with victory. All power is in my hands. So I can imagine whenever they hung him on the cross, all those Pharisees and all those people that were putting him there, they were rejoicing. All the demons, I imagine demons had a good time until Jesus showed up in hell. And then they found out that that was God's plan all the time. So sometimes on your way out of a situation, before it get better, it can get worse. And you all remember in the 9th chapter, I believe it was the 9th chapter of Mark, or it might have been the 9th chapter of Luke, where this boy was having these seizures, and they say that the devil would throw him into the fire sometime and throw him into the water sometime. And then the daddy say, if you can do anything, cast him out. If you can do anything, help us. And the disciples could not cast that devil out, but Jesus cast him out. But before that devil went out, the Bible says he rent him. In other words, he actually killed the boy before he came out. And Jesus raised him back up from the dead. And so I can imagine that daddy was saying, I wanted you to get him free, not kill him. But it's a lot of times whenever before you get your victory, there's going to be some hardships. There's going to be some trials. There's going to be some really hard times. I think my grandmama used to say it's like this. It's always what? Darkest before before the dawn. The darkest part is right before dawn. And so that's the way it is a lot of times. God promised you he's going to bring you out, but he don't show you everything that's going to happen to you on your way out. So you got to keep trusting God. You got to have a faith that lasts, a faith that will go through hard times until you see the manifested power of God. All right. So I think we got a pretty good bit out of that lesson. I have some more notes here. I like this one too, though, where it in chapter 2, verses 23 through 25, how it was talking about how the children of Israel, they had spent that 400, it was like the commentary said 430 years that they had spent in bondage. But it say they cried unto the Lord, and he heard them, and he delivered them. See, they cried unto the Lord. Now, they were in bondage for 400. God told Jacob that they would be in bondage for 400 years, but according to history, it was actually 430 years. That's a long time. But it took that much time for them to go from just being a family into being a nation. So sometimes it takes time for God to work out something in you so that he can use you. Because God got plans for you. If you are a child of God, God got plans for you. But sometimes it takes time to get from point A to point B. It takes time for you to get from where you are to where God wants you. And in that process of time, you may go through a lot of different things. But you just keep your focus on God and say, this is what God said. Keep your mind on what God said, not on what you see. And God will do what he said because God is faithful. If God promised he's going to bring you out, he didn't say what was going to happen to you before you got out. But if God promised to bring you out and you stay faithful, the Bible says, if we faint not, we shall reap in due season. So you have to be steadfast even when you're going through the hardest times, even when you're going through trials. Just be steadfast and hold on to God. And you'll see that God is faithful. He'll do exactly what he said he'll do. So it was 430 years, but God brought them out with a mighty hand. All right. Anybody got anything else? We see our children church coming in, children Bible study. We thank the Lord for them. Yes, ma'am. Do you have a mic? Don't hold it down to your waist.
I just wanted to say to everybody, I know y'all probably get sick of me, but after April 27th, y'all don't have to worry about me bugging you again. But I just want to say to every member of the church to please, let's buy a ticket to support our banquet for our pastor's appreciation. I know we might be asking a lot, but God will repay. Thank you.
All right. We thank the Lord for Sister Scott and for the everyone in Evergreen doing such a wonderful job working to try to be a blessing. And we thank God. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate y'all so very much. All right. If nothing more, we want to say thank you, our Facebook family and YouTube family, for watching us. And we hope you were blessed. I was certainly blessed. And we're going to leave these words with you to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know your labor is not in vain in the Lord. All right, let's get ready to go home. Father God, we thank you right now for how you have blessed us tonight. Thank you for the people of God coming out and equipping themselves to be armed with the word of God.